Hello, welcome back children. How are you all doing? Yes? Fine? Very good. You all must be very happy. Though you are missing your school and friends, but still you are not missing your classes. So, you all must be really very happy. Okay children. Hope this new way of learning is very beneficial to you. Okay children, now coming to today's class, I am going to handle the 9th standard second language English unit 1 session 2. Do you remember children, in the last class what did you learn? Yes? Try to recall what are the things that you learnt in the last class? Yes, you learnt about prefixes. When you come to grammar, you learnt about prefixes, and based on the prefix what you learnt in the last class, I had given you an home assignment. Do you remember children? Yes. Have you done the assignment? Have you written down it in a notebook? Have you found out the answer? Is it correct? Have you done children? Good. Let us check up with the answer what you have written. Let us see whether you have written it correctly or no. The assignment was on fill in the blanks with the correct prefix word given in italics. Yes or no children? Yes. The first fill in the blank is when our teacher asked I spell correctly but my friend dash it. So, the answer for that is when our teacher asked I spell correctly but my friend misspelled it. Did you get the answer children? Check it up. Have you written it correctly? Yes, the word is spelled and the prefix for the word spelled is misspelled. Is it clear children? Now, let us go to the second one. We must maintain justice. It is wrong to do dash to others. The answer for that is we must maintain justice. It is wrong to do injustice to others. So, the word is justice and the prefix for the word justice is injustice. Did you get it correct children? Now, let us go to the third one. It is my fortune, I am safe, but it is dash for my friend who was injured in the accident. So, let us see what is the answer for this. It is my fortune, I am safe, but it was a misfortune for my friend who was injured in the accident. So, did you get the answer correct children? Fortune, it is misfortune. Yes. The fourth one, wooden chairs are expensive, but plastic chairs are dash. The answer, wooden chairs are expensive, but plastic chairs are inexpensive. Did you get it children? Expensive, inexpensive. Yes, the fifth one, Girish is an efficient worker, but his friend is dash worker. Yes, let us check the answer. Girish is an efficient worker, but his friend is an inefficient worker. Efficient, inefficient. And one more thing, did you notice here children? And it is given an inefficient worker. Why it is an inefficient worker? Yes children, can you make it out? Yes, inefficient. This word, when you pronounce it in the beginning, the sound which you hear is a vowel sound. So, because of that, it is an inefficient worker. Did you get it children? Yes. The sixth one is Ramesh Rao is an honest officer, but his assistant is dash. The answer for the sixth one is Ramesh Rao is an honest officer, but his assistant is dishonest. Honest, the prefix for that word is dishonest. Okay children, now you came to know about the prefix, the home assignment. Did you check it up? Have you all written it correctly? Yes? Very good. Let us recapitulate what happened in the last class, let us know about it. In the last class, we came to know that one day when the Pandavas were in pursuit of a deer, they became very weary and thirsty. Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, asked Nakula to see if there was water nearby. Nakula climbed up a tree and said that there was water close by. Yudhishthira asked Nakula to get some water. Nakula, reaching the pool, wanted to quench his thirst. When he dipped his hand in the water, he heard an invisible voice which said to him not to drink water unless he answers the Yaksha's questions. he ignored the warning, drank the water and fell down dead. He was followed by his other brothers, namely Sahadeva, Arjuna and Bhima. They also met the same fate as they did not listen to the voice. Yes, children, up till here it is clear for you. Yes, now coming to today's class. Before we go to the class, children, I want you to have a book and a pen with you. And as I do the reading, note down the important words you come across in the lesson. Underline it, write it down in a book. Okay, and not only the hard words, but apart from that, you will also have certain activities and tasks for you, and you should note it down in your book and find the answers for these activities, because once you go back to the class, your teachers will be checking it and they will be assessing it. So whatever activities or tasks that is given to you, you must write it down in the book, and don't forget to mention the dates. Is it clear, children? Are you ready? Shall we proceed? Okay, here we go with the Prose the Enchanted Pool session 2. Puzzled and worried that his brothers had not returned, Yudhishthira himself proceeded in the direction his brothers had taken. When he came near a pool, seeing his brothers lying on the ground, appearing dead, he was shocked. But as he was thirsty, he wanted to quench his thirst first. At once, he heard a voice which warned him, "Your brothers died because they did not heed my words. Do not follow them. Answer my questions first and then quench your thirst. This pool is mine." Yudhishthira knew that these were the words of a Yaksha. He said to the bodiless voice, "Please ask your questions." The voice asked questions one after another. What makes sun shine every day? Yudhishthira replied, "The power of God." What rescues man in danger? Yudhishthira answered, "Courage." What is more nobly sustaining than the earth? Yudhishthira said, "The mother who brings up the children." What is faster than wind? Mind, Yudhishthira replied. What befriends a traveller? Learning. Who is the friend of one who stays at home? The wife. Who accompanies a man in death? Dharma, that alone accompanies the soul in its solitary journey after death. Which is the biggest vessel? The earth, which contains all within itself, is the greatest vessel. What is happiness? Happiness is the result of good conduct. What is that abandoning which man becomes loved by all? Pride, for abandoning that man will be loved by all. What is the loss which brings joy and not sorrow? Anger. Giving it up, we will no longer be subjected to sorrow. What is that by giving up which man becomes wealthy? Desire. Getting rid of it, man becomes wealthy. What makes one a real Brahmin? Is it birth, good conduct or learning? Birth and learning do not make one a Brahmin. Good conduct alone does. What is the greatest wonder in the world? Every day, men see creatures depart to Yama's abode, and yet those who remain seek to live forever. Thus, the Yaksha posed many questions and Yudhishthira answered them all. In the end, the Yaksha was pleased and asked, "O king, one of your dead brothers can be revived. Whom do you want revived? He shall come back to life." Yudhishthira replied, "May the cloud-complexioned, lotus-eyed, broad-chested and long-armed Nakula, lying like a fallen ebony tree, arise." The Yaksha was pleased and asked Yudhishthira, "Why did you choose Nakula in preference to Bhima, who has the strength of 16,000 elephants, and why not Arjuna, whose prowess in arms is your protection? Tell me why you choose Nakula." Yudhishthira replied, "O Yaksha, Kunti and Madri were the two wives of my father. I, a son of Kunti, is alive, so she will not be bereaved. So, to be fair, I asked that Madari's son Nakula be revived. The Yaksha was pleased and granted back the life of all his brothers. It was Yama, the lord of death, who had taken the form of the deer and the Yaksha so that he might see his son Yudhishthira and test him. He embraced Yudhishthira and blessed him. Yama said, "Only a few days remain to complete the stipulated period of our exile in the forest. The 13th year also will pass by. None of your enemies will be able to discover you. You will succeed." Saying this, he disappeared. Is it clear, children, up till here? So, you came to know how Yudhishthira goes in search of his brother. He is very much shocked seeing them lying dead over there, and then when he goes to drink water, once again the Yaksha gives him the warning, and he listens to the words of the Yaksha and he answers all the questions. The Yaksha is very happy with him and he gives him a boon, allowing one of his brother to come back to life. And when he says it is Nakula, he feels really very happy and he sees to it that all his brothers have come back to life. Now, let us move on to the glossary. Here in the glossary, you will come across the meaning of certain hard words which we came across in the lesson. The first glossary is puzzled. The word puzzled. The meaning of the word puzzled is unable to understand. Now, look at this picture, children. What do you see in this picture? Yes, you can see a girl having lots of books in front of her. Yes or no? Yes. And looking at her expression, we can make out that the book which she is referring is a maths textbook and she is not able to understand what is given in the text. So, she is unable to understand the concept. So, that is the meaning of the word puzzled. Now, let us go to the second word, that is revive. The meaning of the word revive is to bring back. Now, children, look at the board. You can see two pictures. Yes or no? In the first picture, you can see a potted plant. And how does the plant look? Yes, it is about to die. Okay. And what can you make out from the second picture, children? If you take care of the plant, if you pour water, keep it out in sunlight, what will happen? They will come back once again to life. So, that is the meaning of the word revive. Yes, now going to the next glossary word. It is prowess. The meaning of the word prowess is great skill at doing something. Okay, children, look at the picture over there. What can you see? Who is there in that picture? Yes, it's a picture of Arjuna, one of the Pandava brothers. And you all know Arjuna was very good at what? Yes, children, try to remember. He was very good at archery. So, great skill at doing something. That is the meaning of the word prowess. Now, let's move on to the next glossary word. Bereaved. A person is bereaved if a relative or a close friend has just passed away. Now, the next glossary word is exile. The meaning of the word exile is a period of forced absence from one's country or home. You can come to know that Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, for a period of time, they were being exiled from the kingdom. They were supposed to go and live in the forest. Now, let us move on to the next, that is, let me check up whether you have understood the lesson so far. Okay, and for that, I am going to ask you some questions and let me see whether you will get the correct answers for these questions. Shall we go, children? Yes. The first question is, why do you think the Yaksha gave Yudhishthira a boon? Yes. Children, note down this question. Write it down in your book. The answer for this question is, as Yaksha was pleased with the answers given by Yudhishthira, he granted him a boon. The second question is, why did Yudhishthira choose Nakula in preference to Bhima? The answer is, Yudhishthira chose Nakula in preference to Bhima because Kunti and Madari were the two wives of his father. He, the son of Kunti, was alive. So, to be fair, he wanted Nakula, the son of Madari, to be alive so that Madari would not bereave. Did you get the answer, children? What you have written, did you check it up with it? Is it correct? Okay, let's move on to the third question. The third question is, why did Yama take the form of a Yaksha? The answer is, Yama took the form of a Yaksha to see his son Yudhishthira and to test him. Yes. Have you written correctly, children? Yes. Excellent. Very good. Yes. Now coming to the next part, that is grammar. Today, let us know what are adjectives. In this lesson, you come across certain words which come under the group adjectives of quality. Is it clear, children? So now let us know what is an adjective. So what is an adjective, children? You must have already learnt it in your previous class. Yes or no? Try to remember. Yes, did you get it? Yes, very good. An adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. Did you get it, children? Write it down in your notebook. For example, look at this sentence, children. Read the sentence. Shobha is a girl. What is the sentence? Shobha is a girl. Now look at this picture, children. What can you make out from that picture? Yes, you can make out that whether Shobha is a girl or not. Yes or no, children? Yes. But regarding other information, what type of a girl is Shobha? About that we do not get any information from this picture. Is it clear, children? Okay. So now let's go on to another sentence. Read this sentence, children. Shobha is a beautiful girl. Yes. So when you go through this sentence, what do you come to know about Shobha? Yes, we come to know that Shobha is a beautiful girl. This word beautiful is an adjective of quality. Did you get it, children? To know more about adjectives, there are many types of adjectives. Various forms of adjectives are there. Today, let us know about the 6 main types of adjectives. Namely, adjective of quality, adjective of quantity, and adjective of number, interrogative adjective, demonstrative adjective, and possessive adjective. So how many adjectives are there, children? Many adjectives are there. Among them, these are the 6 main adjectives. Note it down in the book, children. Have you written it down? Okay. Now, let's move on to the next, that is adjective of quality. What is adjective of quality? These are the words that describe the quality of a noun or a pronoun. Did you get it, children? What are adjective of quality? These are the words that describe the quality of a noun or a pronoun. So any word which describes the quality of a noun or a pronoun, that we call it as adjective of quality. For example, look at this sentence, children. I have a soft teddy. Now you have got a picture of a teddy. Can you see it, children? Yes, I have a soft teddy. So in this sentence, I have a soft teddy. Which is the adjective of quality, children? Can you make it out? It describes the quality. So which is the word over there? Yes, it is soft. Soft is an adjective of quality. What function does this adjective of quality does means they generally answer the question what kind in any sentence. So what does adjective of quality usually do? They generally answer the question what kind in any sentence. Okay, children, now you have got a task to do. Look at the picture over here. What do you see? Yes, you can see the picture of a teddy over here. How does it look? It looks very cute. Okay, so now so far you came to know about the adjectives of quality or quality words or describing words. Okay, in the first sentence you went through the sentence, I have a soft teddy. The word soft over there, it's adjective of quality. So in the similar way, looking at this picture, children, I want you to find out some more quality words which describe the quality of this teddy. It is a cute teddy. Some of you might say it is a blue teddy, and others, some of you may say it's an awesome teddy. Yes or no? So like that, these words cute, blue, awesome, they are all adjectives of quality. Is it clear, children? Now is it clear what is adjective of quality? Yes. Now after knowing this, now you have come to know what is the adjective of quality. Now let's move on to the next. Now you have got a task to do. Look at the picture, children, and can you make out whose picture it is? It's a picture of one of the Pandava brothers, that is Nakula. Okay, and in this lesson, in the second part, when you went through the lesson, you come across certain adjective of quality words, certain describing words, and for Nakula, certain quality words are being used to describe his personality. Yes or no, children? Go through the textbook, you can find it out. There are certain adjectives of quality describing the personality of Nakula. Okay, write it down, children. Let me check it up whether you have done it correctly. Did you finish it, children? Okay. Now let us check up. Yes, in the lesson very clearly the describing quality of Nakula is broad chested, long armed, cloud complexioned, and also lotus eyed. Did you get it correct, children? So these type of words which describe the quality of a person, they are called as adjective of quality, or you can also call them as descriptive adjective. Did you get it, children? Is it clear up till now? Yes. Now let's move on to the next. Now you are also going to learn what are infinitives. Now look at these words, children. To talk, to destroy, to finish, to make, to eat, to read, to wear, to drink. What are all these words, children? Yes, talk, destroy, finish, make, eat, read, wear, drink. What are all these? Yes, what do these words show? Yes, these words are all showing some action being done. And what do we call these words? Yes, children, can you remember? It is one of the part of speech. Yes? Yes, very good. They are all called as verbs. What are they called as? They are called as verbs. What is a verb? It's a word which shows some action being done, or it is also an action word. Did you get it, children? So these words, we call them as infinitives. For example, I can show you how it is called as infinitive, because an infinitive always will begin with to. You have got the word to over there, and it will be followed with a base form of the verb. Together it is called as infinitive. Did you get it, children? When the word begins with to and followed with a base form of a verb, it forms into an infinitive. So what is an infinitive, children? It's nothing but it's the to form followed by a verb. That we call it as infinitive. An infinitive is to plus verb form 1, first form of the verb or the base form of a verb. Okay, that we call it as an infinitive. Example, to drink. And here one interesting thing you have to note it down. What does that means? The interesting thing, though it is formed, the infinitive, though it is formed out of a verb, it does not act as a verb. Did you get it, children? Even though the infinitive is formed out of a verb, it does not act as a verb. It does not work as a verb, but it functions as a noun or adjective or an adverb. Did you get it, children? Most of the time, it is usually used in the present form. And when you talk about infinitive, it has got two forms. The first one is the to infinitive, that is the to form plus the base verb. The second one is the zero infinitive, that is the base. Only the verb will be there. That we call it as the zero infinitive. You must remember, infinitive is not a verb. So you cannot add s, es, ed or ing to the end, because base verb will be there and infinitive also. Is it clear, children? For example, look at this sentence, children. She eats an apple every day. My father goes to the office regularly. They walk for an hour. She is reading. And here you can see that there is no to form. So because of that, with the verb, you can add yes, es, ed or ing. But if the to form is there and if it is an infinitive, you cannot add this yes, es, ed or ing. Did you get it, children? Okay. Now let's move on to the next. You have got few examples for to infinitive. The first one is, he wanted to go to school. Second one, I hope to build a new house soon. The third example is, the people were shocked to see the accident. Did you notice, children, in all these sentences, to go, to build, to see, all these are called as infinitive. Now let's go to zero infinitive. You have got few examples over here. He cannot speak to you. Suman must go before it becomes dark. You made me come with you today. And here, what can you notice, children? There is no to form. Cannot speak. Must go. Made me come. There is no to form. Only the base verb is there. Because of that, this we call it as a zero infinitive. Is it clear, children, up till here? So now, let us move on to the next, that is home assignment. Based on what infinitive you learnt now, based on that you have got the assignment. Now complete these sentences using infinitives. The first one is, I cannot decide where dash. Second, Bindu wants to know how dash. The third one is, I do not know what dash. The fourth is, Ranjan is learning how dash. Did you get it, children? Now you have to complete this sentence using infinitive. Already you have learned that infinitive means it's nothing but to form along with the base verb. Okay. So just recall what was being taught and try to do this assignment. Now you have got another assignment, that is, make sentences using the glossary words. As I finished doing the lesson, I explained certain glossary words. You came to know the meaning of the glossary words. Now, I want you people to make sentences of your own using the glossary words puzzled, revived, prowess, bereaved and exile. Just look at this QR code which is given at the top corner. What do you have to do with this QR code, children? You have to scan it. Why should you scan it? Because when you scan the QR code related to this first lesson, if there are any activities or any task or something like that, maybe it is based on language exercises or vocabulary or more comprehension questions, for all that you have to scan the QR code. Is it clear, children? Will you do it? Yes. I hope this class was really very helpful to you. So, until I meet you in the next class, it's bye from me. Bye, children. Thank you.